Hi, I'm Tom. Welcome to the Simoniz garage. Washing the car is going to be very important and save you a lot of time actually when we get into the detail process. What we want to do is knock off a majority of the sediment, get any of the real stuff that's going to get the rest of the car dirty taken care of in the prep of the wash prior to actually hand washing the vehicle. If you have a car wash tunnel, you have the ability to knock off, maybe with a high pressure gun, knock off a lot of the sediment. Then you can actually spray a bug remover. We can actually spray tar solve, things like that. But in a setting like this, we actually have to hand wash the vehicle. We're going to go through some other different steps because we don't have the luxury of a tunnel. So what we're going to do is start with the engine compartment. We're going to take an all-purpose cleaner degreaser, an alkaline cleaner really, and we're going to spray the engine compartment. We're going to avoid, on older vehicles, distributor caps and so on and so forth. And in all honesty, if you're not really sure that it's a great candidate for high pressure washing, just do it by hand with a cleaner degreaser. Okay, just spray and wipe with a towel. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to actually spray the engine compartment, the underside of the hood. We can actually spray, if we do feel that it's not that bad, we could spray the grille and some of the other painted portions. We're actually going to avoid that in this actual vehicle because it is so bad. But we are going to spray the door jambs. So we're trying to make the process as seamless as possible by spraying this, moving to the doors, come back around. At this point, this should have dwelled. We can spray it off. By closing the doors after we spray them, we can actually high pressure into the seams and not get any water inside. I know at some dealerships, some car washes, they like to spray and try to angle the pressure washer. This avoids any of the interior surfaces getting wet or getting sprayed with that pressure washer. So what we're going to do is start here, work our way around the vehicle, then come back, spray here. As we're spraying, we can actually knock off a lot of this large debris, as you can see, as we have up here in the Northeast. We can knock off a lot of this salt and sand and work our way, focusing on the wheels and the wheel wells and, rocker panels, hitting those door jambs as we're spraying, come back around, and then we're ready to actually wash the car and prep for bugs and tar, etc. So, now at this point, the engine will actually dry this, so we can just close it up. If you'd like, you could take a rag, a terry towel, and wipe it down and just kind of clean it up, just so that dust, etc., doesn't actually collect in the engine compartment. So now that the car is free of all the sediment, and basically it's been prepped, besides any bugs, etc., we'll go and take care of that. So what we want to do, and this is Don't Bug Me, you can also use products like Bug Off. What we do is just spray any of the surfaces really that are prone to them. And as this is a Jeep Wrangler, a lot of it is prone to collecting bugs. Now, tar solvents, it's important to remember not to spray onto clear plastic, okay, as it'll soften it. Now, these are glass, but most headlights are in fact plastic. You really want to avoid that. But really, the places that tar will build up will be rocker panels, wheel wells, places like that. So once again, we want to go through, spray it. We don't want any of these to dry, so you want to keep in mind your climate. If anything is going to, you're going to spray it on there, you don't want to dry on the surface of the vehicle. We want to make sure we rinse that, you know, at that point before it does dry. Now you see I keep starting on the driver's side and working my way around. What that does is it gives me a starting point and an ending point. If we know where we started, we know where to end, and we can get everything in between so that we don't miss anything, so everything can overlap. So at this point, what I would actually do is take products such as a do-all scrubber, which is it's actually very rough. If I were to put it on the car now, it would scratch it. So what I want to do is I want to make sure, and just using, you know, car wash soap, you want to make sure you get it nice and saturated, nice and wet. Okay, give it a couple squeezes in there. All right, get it nice and wet. It's a sponge, it'll pick it up. And then you can actually go over, and I'd start in the areas that we sprayed the bugs. You can also use a bug and tar sponge. And any of the places that were really bad, you can just give an extra scrub. Now, at this point, what I would do is rinse off those two products if possible. If it's still, you know, if it's actually still wet, you can just keep working, all right? But at this point, we're just going to quickly rinse off, especially the tar solvent. Now, as he's rinsing off, I'm going to get ready to wash the car. What we've done here is we have a 2-bucket method, okay? We have a bucket of just clean water, all right? And this is really important when we're washing cars. Even the best car washes, if they don't wash the, you know, they don't keep their wash mitts clean and so on and so forth, can cause micro scratches. So what we want to do is make sure we take all precautions to get rid of any sediment that could sit in our wash mitts. So we're going to take a grit guard. And what we do is we put it in, and it sits right about here in the bucket, okay? So what we're going to do is, as we take our clean mitts, all right, our new clean mitts, and you can, obviously, it's a mitt, you can put it on your hand, you can even just use like this. What you're going to do is you're going to get it nice and soapy, all right, and then we're going to put it on the vehicle. Once we put it on the vehicle, you're now picking up debris. So rather than come back with all that debris and put it back into the same bucket, we want to go into this bucket, rinse off as much as we can, and then go into here. So even if there is anything left on this, it's actually going to fall to the bottom and not get picked back up, okay? So it's really important that we do this. Now, With cars like this, and really all cars, but cars like this, they're a little taller, you may want to have a step ladder handy, which we'll do in a second, especially if you're hand washing with mitts, or use, truck brushes and something like that. So something with like a broom handle and a wash brush on it. So you're going to see both. We'll do both methods. Joel will actually help me out with that. So Joel's going to use the wash mitt process, and I'll do the wash brush. Now, because there's two of us working on the car, this is going to be true of any process. One person starts in the front driver's side of the vehicle. The other person would start in the rear passenger side of the vehicle. We want to make sure that we're not bumping into each other, but we can overlap. We can always do more than half. All right? So he's going to do this process, and he's going to have the step ladder to wash the roof. Okay? What we want to do at this point is really the top-down method. All right? So he can start here and then work up there and then come down to do the sides. And I'll do the same. I will actually start at the roof and then work my way down. So that any of the soap and anything that, debris, so on and so forth, is falling down to the bottom. I'm not pushing it up. Okay? So, here you go, Joel. And then I have wash buckets back here. And we're just going to As he keeps working, what I'm going to do is actually start on this side, spraying another all-purpose cleaner degreaser. In this case, I'll use number 4 cleaner degreaser. And Joel, actually I'll ask to continue to help me, we'll use Crush Plus, another all-purpose cleaner degreaser. And what we're going to do is just spray the tires, okay? And what we're going to do is we'll use a couple different brushes. Here, you can use a body brush. Really take care of those wheel wells, really scrub them well as the rims. Now, if we had white walls, we could use a brass bristle brush. And you know what? We'll bring in another car as well, and we'll show you that in a second. But what we're going to do is just spray the actual tires themselves, make sure we clean them very well as the wheel wells. Then we can rinse everything off. Now, as you can see with this car, we have actually coated rims right now. So we don't need to spray a wheel cleaner on them. Just an all-purpose is fine, and just a rinse. Now, if this car was, as most manufacturers have painted rims, what we do is we would spray a strong alkaline cleaner, as alkalines clean paint. So we would spray any one of these cleaner degreasers. If it's really bad, you can move your way up to something like a product we have called Breakaway, which works very, very well. And what I'll do is, once again, we'll show you with another car, just some different things you'll run into. So as of right now, we'll just quickly run through. Now, I do recommend a pressure washer. You want to keep it, not terribly strong, obviously, but, something that's really meant for automotive, like a self-serve type of self-serve bay pressure washer like we have here, or even just a high-pressure hose is fine if that's what you have. Just keep that in mind, that you want to be as thorough as possible. If you don't have the pressure, you may have to put a little extra elbow grease with the brushes, all right? Or maybe even have some of the products with a little longer dwell time. So, the car is rinsed. At this point, we would dry it. So, unless you're going to clay the car, which the car can be wet, we would just dry it. We can use different types of tools, such as, here we have hot air blowers, and just to show you, we have Micro Magic chamois, which are very absorbent towels. They're actually microfibers, so they're not, we can't really consider them a chamois, but they're microfibers, but they act like a chamois. So they're Micro Magic towels, and to dry the car, what I always recommend doing, just 2 folded towels, size of your hand, and basically start in one area, front driver's side, reaching more than half, 60%, working your way around the vehicle. And if you have 2 guys, one guy's in the back, one guy's in the front. What we do is basically dry the vehicle and then bring it into the detail bay and start working. So much like washing, you want to start from the top down, as obviously gravity will pull it down anyway. So if we start on top, we can actually catch all the water at once. Now, depending on how much room you have, how much volume you have, you may end up wanting to do this process in the actual detail bay. So you can use compressed air to even help and get a lot of these weep areas, which for the most part will be the beginning of most of the processes anyway. I'll show you real quick, just while you're here, how the hot air blower works. These are from Metrovac. They're 8 horsepower, okay? So you can actually blow out a lot of those weep areas at once. That's how you wash a car. So one more note. We brought another car in here because of this one has actual white walls and painted rims. Just want to show how you would care for those in the wash process. So number one, before we spray anything on any rims, we want to make sure they're cool. All right. Now this car has been cleaned besides this area, so these have been rinsed and they are cool. Now you can see there's a little bit of grime on there, but it's not really brake dust. If this was heavily, caked with brake dust, I would actually use a product like Breakaway, which is a very strong alkaline, and it's meant for painted rims. Now, metal rims and alloys, and so on and so forth, they're going to be cared for differently, and we're going to show you that in a special video on metal polishing. And those would use usually an acid cleaner to clean them, as acid cleans bare metal and alkalines are for paint. So in regards to this, what we want to do is we want to clean this, and really a strong, all-purpose, like our Purple Power or even Crush Plus, which is the delimonene-based product, or basically the delimonene is a naturally occurring solvent that's derived from orange peel, so it's got that citrus scent. What we would do is we would use that to clean the rim and even the tire and the white walls. So to actually clean the tire, just a nice stiff bristle brush. To clean the actual white walls, you want to use a brass bristle brush. All right. So you're gonna see me do that as well. And then once again, spraying the rim. What we can do is we can agitate it with any wheel cleaners, brushes, such as the long Tampico wheel brush, things like that, if they need it. Otherwise, I think this one, we can probably just spray it and rinse it with a high pressure and we'll be just fine. So what I want to do is I'll use, the Purple Power on the rim just to show you. Okay, we'll just kind of get that in there, let that work. And then we'll use the Crush Plus on the tire. We're going to take that brass bristle brush and just give it a little extra TLC. You can see it actually getting clean before your eyes. I can actually just take this and just now, in really bad cases, you can actually use a wheel brush, to agitate any of this, especially if you're trying to do high volume. This can all be done kind of while you're standing up. So what I'm going to do now is just high pressure rinse it, and you'll see the difference. And that's that.